Caulfield in about 2:36, Pottersville 2:46, and then West Plains at 3 o'clock. Can you read us the warning, the latest one that is for the one down there in Baxter County?
Yeah, sure. I've got this other one pulled up, so let me clear that off, and then we'll go back to this one for Baxter County.
Okay.
We've been watching the storm behind the scenes for about 30 minutes or so, and now what they're saying about this new warning that includes Fulton County now is that we're looking at this storm continuing to move to the northeast at 50 miles an hour. The hazard is tornado, but also potentially some ping pong sized hail. So they're going to be watching this as it continues to move through, heading toward Gasville right now, right on top of them, and then also continuing to move to the northeast. They're not really saying much else about that in the official bulletin for that right now.
Now, did you say also they had some spotters on that one?
Yeah, someone said earlier in the chat before the second warning got issued that there was rapid rotation in the clouds near Marion County Airport. So, and I think that's what prompted them to continue this warning into Fulton County.
Yeah, because, you know, and this is really, really far away from the radar. So getting a good look on this is really difficult. But you can still see, if you notice, we're using the Springfield radar site out of Missouri, and you can see the rotation right through here, and you can see it going away from it here. So it has gone just past flipping. Now, keep in mind, the radar beam, because of the curvature of the Earth, is sitting at about 20,000 feet at this point. So this will be coming into the mountain home area, whether it is rotating on the ground or not, here within the next, I'd say, 8 minutes or so, and then continuing on if it holds together. The environment here is starting to get more conducive for severe weather, but right now it's kind of borderline at the moment. I will say this area to the north, have they said much about it? It also doesn't look really impressive.
They've not. I've been looking at the chat for the Springfield office as well, and they've just mentioned that there was a report for Houston, which is outside of our area, of a funnel cloud, and nothing about this one.
Outside of Houston, that's going to be way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's here.
So they're not saying anything. They just issued the warning and
then went on. Okay, yeah, that's so if we're getting funnel clouds, that's up in this area. If you know where Houston and Plato, that's just south of Rolla, up around Fort Leonard Wood. A lot of military families live in the Houston and Plato area. That's just outside of Regent. So we're not getting a ton of information right now for these storms that are coming through the mountain home area and down to the southwest of West Plains. So what we'll do, what we do know is its movement, and we will put a storm track on the leading edge of it. You said that was moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. So we'll put a new storm track on it that has it in Mountain Home in about the next 5 minutes. Briarcliff 241, Hendersonville 245, Ruth 250, Viola 302, Moco if it goes into Missouri at 312. 312. So here's your times of arrival. If you have maybe family or friends in that area also, you may give them a call and make sure that they understand the threat. I think everybody pretty much knows that we've got severe weather coming in, and it's just now starting. Now here's what could happen with this. Let's go back to radar. Here's what could happen with these storms. If I go back to the home view here, we may see these storms move through, and then we get a little break. We go back to regular programming for a bit, and we watch the storms back to the west and to the southwest. We'll watch and see if that happens, but that is a possibility also.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. These storms are not moving into the best environment that we're going to have today.
Yeah.
And they're just barely clipping us as well, so I wouldn't be surprised. They just issued a severe thunderstorm warning that's clipping the northern parts of Baxter County and the northwestern parts of Fulton County. I was going to go ahead and click on this to try to figure out, oh, that was the tornado warning, not that one.
I guess I like what they're doing here. They're showing you where the rotation is with the mountain home, with the tornado warning there, but also that hail core that is coming in. So tornado or not, this is going to be a severe storm that causes some pretty big issues with the Mountain Home area. And we'll go in just a minute. Just for those in the back, we may want to pull up the computer in a minute, take a look at some of the RDOT cameras that we have over in Mountain Home, because they've got a lot of street cameras right there in the middle of town. So that's going to give us probably a look at the large hail that's coming in. And if there is a tornado there, we're going to see it there also. If we can go back to the other computer. Let's go back here, and I'm going to zoom in on this area and watching two areas of rotation. So we got this storm here. It's got a hail core. This kind of a Okay, we'll go to that camera in a minute. I'll tell you something else in the back. By the way, if you guys ever wonder if I'm talking to myself, there's an earpiece right there. We have a producer that we're talking to. If you guys in the back see anything, you probably won't until this part gets into Mountain Home, unless you'll have some cameras back here. But once that gets into Mountain Home, we'll take a closer look at it. So I appreciate y'all having that on standby. If you look at the wind within the storm right now, broad rotation. Now you may think to yourself, oh, it's wide rotation. That must be a big tornado. Not necessarily. Think of it kind of like an ice skater. If you ever see an ice skater and they have their hands out wide, they're not going as fast as when they tighten up and they start really spinning. If you ever watch the Olympics and stuff, and then when they widen back out, they slow down. So having broad rotation like that doesn't mean big tornado. That just means that we don't probably have a tornado right now. But notice how this rotation is broader than this. This is actually tightening up just a little bit. This one that is down to the southwest of Mountain Home around Gassville. That's why we're saying, if you're in Gassville, if you're in Mountain Home, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. We need you to have as many walls in between you and the outside that you possibly can, and we need you to be as low as possible. If you have family in Mountain Home, they have a basement, tell them to get down into the basement. So that's what we're watching in this area here. That's going to be in the Mountain Home here in the next, probably in the next 10 minutes, and then go over into Henderson also.
Yeah, and they're talking about this storm that's moving into Fulton County as well. They're noting that since it is so far away from the radar, it's going to be difficult to gauge the strength of the rotation near the surface, much like you just said. But if it continues, it's going to get pretty close to Salem.
Okay, so that's what we're watching. This is hitting this is going to be coming into very populated areas. And here's something else that happens. When a storm like this is really far away from the radar site and we know the environment that it's in. We've been talking all morning about we're at a level 5 out of 5. Now in this area, it's a level 4, but nonetheless, when you are in this type of environment, if a storm is really far away from the radar site, the National Weather Service is going to err on the side of caution. What I mean by that is they may see rotation. They know that the radar beam is sitting at about 12,000 feet. They know our limitations are we can't see the lower levels of this storm. So it's good to have spotters out there which have said they have rotation there. And they're going to stick with this for a little bit. Now, if this was a little closer to the radar and it started falling apart a little bit down the lower parts of the atmosphere, it'd be a different story. But there is no harm in an environment like this. Oh boy, that tightened up.
Yeah, and it's like right on, it's getting very close to Mountain Home right now too.
Yeah.
I've looked at one of the cameras in Mountain Home.
Yeah.
And the one in the center of town, you're just seeing some rain there right now. Nothing looks super
Let's go to
concerning.
one of those cameras if we can. I trust y'all just kind of find. Oh, there it is. There's the dark sky coming in. So you can see, man, these people need to be taking cover. These are people just driving around. They've got a tornado warning
right there.
Right there at it. Goodness. All right. So I tell you what, you guys in the back, keep an eye on all the cameras. Christina's going to be watching some of them also. I say it all the time, radar is a great tool, but especially when you're this far away from it, having eyes on the storm is going to be, look how calm it is there too. Look at the tree there right in front of the bank. So we're going to be watching this closely. Okay, let's go back to radar. What's that?
Oh, I was going to say it's like coming right into the middle of Mountain Home if we are seeing this potentially as an active tornado.
Yeah.
So it's getting very, very close to the middle of Mountain Home, and that was the camera that they were looking at as well. Now, I don't know where that camera is pointing, if it's pointing toward that storm or not,
right.
But we're seeing that rotation. We're having a couple of issues with the radar data coming in and out. But
we are, if you would, Okay, you're looking into it. We're looking into a data issue right now also. You can kind of see the hiccup in the radar product here. So obviously we're missing some.
Velocity's just come back now.
Okay, let's take a look at velocity. Let's see, we got two things. I don't want to forget this storm up here to the West Plains. Boy, you can see it's just really broad rotation. But that's just outside of our viewing area. We've got a lot of people right here in Mountain Home that either have interest there or they kind of live in two different locations. There's the new rotation coming in. Let's see if I can get it. Well, guys.
That rotation continues to move north. Right there along north of Highway 412, so on the north side is Mountain Home, and then looking back up into Howell County, that rotation has really broadened out and become more of a wind threat moving towards West Plains.
Do we have any cameras that are here on the north side of Mountain Home that we could take a look at real fast?
The only camera that would be there would be the one at Henderson looking towards Lake Norfolk.
But there's nothing in the northern parts of the town?
No, just those three that are on Highway 412.
Okay, let's go to that Henderson camera if we can. That sits right over there. There we go. You can't see a lot outside of a dark, dark sky out there. And I tell you look at these cameras sometimes, there could be a raindrop on it. I see there on the right. If you first glance at it, you go, "Whoa, what is that?" But that's probably a raindrop sitting there. But you can see a dark sky. And I'm looking close. You can see the rain-free base there on the right side.
Just barely behind the trees.
It is. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not seeing anything too concerning outside of a few scud clouds, and I don't see any power flashes or anything like that.
No, I'm seeing scud clouds over on some of the cameras inside of Mountain Home as well. Starting to see some sunshine.
That's wild.
Unfortunately, a lot of people still driving on the roads. Don't recommend that during a tornado warning by any means. But
all right, let's go back to radar. There's sun shining right there at Henderson. Yeah, y'all keep an eye on those cameras. I'm gonna go to radar real fast because I do need to show you something else. There's the rotation. It is kind of passing to the north of Mountain Home. So there it is. See it right here? Look at where the reds and greens are together. Right there. There it is, right there.
And
so,
they also...
Okay, let's go to it. Oh yeah, very heavy rain now. We got any hail on that?
Hard to see. I don't
think so.
I think those are just raindrops.
But it's amazing how many people are out on the road right now.
Yeah, too many.
I mean, tornado warning right there, and boy, there's some flooding on the roads. Look at that, or ponding on the roads. Looks like they're driving through.
There is a tornado warning that's clipping West Plains right now as well.
Yeah, let's go back to radar, and I kind of wanted to show that. Let me widen out here just a second, and you can get an idea of the new tornado warning. This is just on the outside of Region 8. This is for this right here. It's still for this broad area of rotation. They're just extending this to the north, which would take it even farther outside of Region 8. We got a handful of people that probably watch us at West Plains, southern parts of the county, a little more so. But what we're really watching right now is going to be that storm that is going through Baxter County, and it's got its eyes on the western parts of Fulton County. Let's put a storm track on it for those that are just now joining us. That's moving to the northeast at 50 miles an hour. And I'm going to kind of put a wide path on this one just to kind of account for it, not exactly knowing exactly where it is because of how far away it is from the radar. But it is in Gamelia, 252, Vidette, 259, Leota, 310, 319 Lebo, as it continues to move into southern Missouri eventually.
Yeah, I'm still kind of watching the environment that it's moving into, and it's still
a little calmer.
Yeah, it's not the most favorable environment that we're probably going to see this evening.
Afternoon, yeah.
But it's still trying. It's still working with a little bit. It's about to get into an area of a little bit more stable air. Mm-hmm. So that could kind of hurt these storms, which would be good.
So here's the lake right here. If you see this little blue line, that camera that we were showing you sits right here. And it was looking back this direction. And that's kind of where the rotation is. So you see the storm, keep watching it. The rotation is right there. So if there is something there, like I said, this blue line right here, we can go to that Henderson camera here in just a minute. In fact, I wouldn't mind. Let's go ahead and do that. If we can go look at the Henderson camera again, it sits right here. Let's stick with that. So that shows it. Don't worry. Once again, I think there's a raindrop just to the left of where it says RDOT, because it kind of looks like something scraping the ground there. Let's not go with that. What I want to watch right here is if we see any power flashes. There's an antenna back there blinking. I see that. Look how calm the trees are there. Just not moving a bit.
No, it seems very relaxed.
But this is going to give us a really good eye. If you look way there in the distance, that is kind of on the right side is where we would see something. And I'm not seeing anything right now, but I really would like somebody in the back. We're going to go back to radar here in a minute, but somebody in the back, stay watching that. Aaron, I'm gonna get your take on this. You know this area also. I know there's a little rise in elevation there. That to the right side there, though, that's a smudge on the camera. That's not a lowering there, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's just a smudge, but it's not. I'll say it is hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
I will say it's been in the same spot since we looked at the camera the
That's
first
what I
time.
was thinking also. I think if they turned the camera a little to the right, you might get, we might get a better look. But look at the sun shining. I mean, this is still just cooking the atmosphere, and that's a little concerning also.
Lots of sunshine. You can see that the clouds are pretty low, though. They're also moving
They
pretty
are.
quickly as well. So,
Well, I'll tell you what else they're going to get here shortly. Let's go back to radar. That camera might give us a look. Once again, that camera is sitting right here, right there. So it's looking back to this. Let's go back to the wind within this storm. It's looking, so here's the camera right here. So there's not, I don't think there's a tornado there. I think we would have seen it just now on that camera. But it is concerning. So I kind of wish they would keep moving that camera around just a little bit. Looks like we just lost velocity data for a minute. Did somebody call on that also?
We have,
Okay.
but I'm also having trouble on looking at the radar back, so it may be a Springfield
Might
thing.
be a Springfield radar issue. Okay.
One thing to point out just real quick
Yeah.
before they're fixing to issue a new tornado watch, a PDS tornado watch for the eastern half of the state.
Okay.
So that's coming down the stream here in the next little bit, and that'll go until about midnight.
Okay, so you'll see that come across your phones here in just a second. Let me see what we've got here.
I'm still watching both of these storms.
All
Yes, we have tornado warnings, but full transparency, not very concerning right now. So I think that's some good news. It's not going into a very favorable environment. We still want to take all tornado warnings seriously as if there is something on the ground, especially this far away from the radar, because we do not know what's going on at the surface. This is several thousand feet up in the sky. If there's rotation up there, it still has to work its way down to the surface quite a bit before we actually know that anything's happening. So still take this seriously. We've been seeing way too many cars driving on the road
That's
there.
wild.
And this area of rotation that's in Baxter County right now is just right north of 412 right now, and it's almost kind of riding that highway as it gets a little bit closer to Fulton County, and it's also on the kind of the northern side, the upper side of this little polygon here. So we're watching the rotation right here, and a lot of people think that the middle, well, that just updated, but a lot of people think that the middle of the storm or the polygon is where the tornado is, and that's not necessarily the case. What we're watching right now is going to be this little area where the reds are going away from the radar in Springfield, Missouri, and the greens are going toward. And that new scan may be a little stronger.
It does look a little stronger. I will agree with you on that. Let's go back to the camera, the Henderson camera, because the rotation would still be in view of the Henderson camera, I believe. If we could just get it to turn a little bit more to the right, I think it would be even more so. Is that a wall cloud right there? Maybe not.
I'm not convinced.
I'm not either.
Looking at the west side, that would be looking on the south side of 412. So we need to look on the right side of the screen. That's going to be the north side of 412. We're looking back towards the west.
We'd have to go back to the side, the other side for a second. So where this rotation is right now, it has just now gone through the Kingwood Estates area, really close to Dogwood Park. It's about to cross over Highway 101. So that's a little bit to the right of where this is. It's not too far away now after it crosses 101. It's going to be going into parts of Fulton County, so it will take it into Viadet in the Jeep community, or probably just to the north of Jeep. So we'll watch that. We'll watch the camera, but I really think it's going to be to the right of the camera now. So there it is. We're going to put another storm track on this, give you some times of arrival. It is going to hit some more rural areas. It doesn't look like it hit the most populated parts of Mountain Home, and we haven't had any reports of it being on the ground. So still going at about 50 miles per hour, I would assume.
Yep.
Three o'clock, Bakersfield into the Leota area at 307, South Fork 318, Lanton at 325 as it continues moving on to the northwest into southern Missouri. So there's the rotation. It's still there, but once again, if you're just now joining us, this is pretty far away from the radar site. Let's give you a wide perspective, put you on radar. Give everybody, kind of reset everybody on where we are and what's going on. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center is about to issue, if they haven't already, a tornado watch for this area. Is this going to include most of Region 8, or is it going to include
I
just
think
this eastern area?
I think it's going to probably include much of Region 8. The Weather Service office in Little Rock said that they're coordinating with this as well.
Okay.
Said the eastern half of the state. So
here's what they're worried about, guys. You see all these little cells that are way ahead of this line that we're already covering. This is a nasty environment. This right here, I mean, you've got all the ingredients for long track tornadoes. That's why they're at, we are at a level 5 out of 5 severe weather threat. So as these storms continue to develop, they're going to issue a tornado watch for this. And as Aaron was saying, it's probably going to last well into the night. We've got to watch things like this. See this little thing north of Pine Bluff right now? Not much to it right now. A little pocket of heavy rain. Might have a little bit of lightning with it. But that's going to be lifting to the north and probably strengthening also. And then we've got this entire line that's going to be coming in here also.
And just to say how quickly those storms can form, just looking back in Tennessee, moving out of North Mississippi, that storm went from nothing to a severe thunderstorm warning on the east sides of Memphis just really quick. So
they did. Well, I tell you what, I thought we would have a little bit of a break before we went into coverage all afternoon and all night, but I am starting to doubt that. I'm starting to think that because we now have these storms coming in, we get the storms out to the east coming in also, and this day is going to start shaping up, I believe, kind of like we thought. A lot of schools letting out early right now. Don't worry if you're watching us out east and you let out at 2 o'clock and there's still buses out there. I think most of Region 8 is still good right now. This is up around the Mountain Home area, western parts of Fulton County. I'm gonna stop this. We haven't talked a whole lot about the hail within the storm, but I wouldn't be surprised. I see at least 2 areas that would be concerning right there. Once again, we're looking way off in the distance on this storm, but if you look right there to the southwest of Bakersfield, see that? You have to kind of look through the storm there, but you can kind of see. All right, and let's see, we'll go back to radar here. So the Henderson camera that we showed you just now sitting right here, it might get into that hail here in just a minute. Greater hail threat's going to be up here, right around Bakersfield, southwest of Bakersfield, just to the west of Bakersfield. But we do have this hail core that's going to be coming in. Let's go back to the wind. That rotation is continuing to be right there. Haven't had any reports of it touching down. New update. That's Robinson Point down there in the corner. A lot of people know where that is. So it looks like just past to the north of Robinson Point. This is about to cross over the state line. It's about to come up to the Bakersfield community. This new tornado watch, I believe, is going to pick that one up. Yeah, I think that's what that's going to do. So this is going to cross over the state line. The rotation's probably not going to go into Fulton County. Am I off base on that?
I don't think so.
I think it's going to cross right over.
Yep.
So a lot of times polygons are issued really large areas to account for any wobble of the rotation that comes through. So this was coming in, and it really started heading more to the left. And just as a radar analysis on that, when a storm's strengthening, it will turn to the right more. So it going to the left tells me I'm not as concerned about it. Still, pay close attention to this one, but this is about to go into Howell County, and it's just going to kind of ride the edge of Region 8 for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not super concerned about that one either. What would be more concerning would be if on the right side of that you saw something else starting to tighten up, and I'm not seeing anything else tightening up.
And it's good to get some good news like that on a day like today,
Yes.
Where storms aren't really strengthening right off the bat. While we have a little bit of a moment while that is moving through, guys in the back, do we have the ability to go to Jace yet? And if we do, it'd be awesome whenever we get that opportunity. Just tell me in my area when and if we ever get that. But in the meantime, I also want to point out to the fact that notice the clock here at 2:52. And I said this the past couple of tornado rounds that we've had. If you're watching us on a streaming service, there's a possibility of what we call a streaming delay. Sometimes it can take as much as 90 seconds for you to get this stream. So it says 2:52 right now. So look at your watch and go, okay, what's it say on my watch? So that you get kind of an idea of where we are as far as the time on the streaming service. Someone asked me not too long ago, what's the fastest way to get your live stream? And it's the old school antenna. You go buy a $20, $30 antenna at Walmart and you plug it in the back of your TV and point it towards western Craighead County. That's going to be the fastest signal that you can get. So if you want to do that, that's something that you can do. All right, meteorologist Jace Passmore, he's going to be out in the Georgia Kell Storm Tracker today. And he's kind of in a wait-and-see situation. But while we had just a couple of minutes, I wanted to talk with Jace and kind of get an idea of him and Matt Bowman's game plan today. Jace?
Yeah, hey Ryan. So we kind of started to the north. We're just outside of Pocahontas, but we're going to start dropping down towards the south. We're really watching this development that is south of Interstate 40, just to the north of Pine Bluff. Now, obviously, we're watching that tornado warning out towards the west. That's kind of going to pass to our northwest. So what is more sparking my interest is all this development that is happening north of Pine Bluff, south of Interstate 40. Very unstable, very moist air mass down there, and if any storm like that can really intensify and stay by itself, that's going to be a big issue.
Yeah, I agree, Jace. That's what the most concerning part of this environment is. Everything that's happening a little bit farther to the west right now, not in the best environment right now, I'd say. All right, thank you, Jace.
So we're just gonna...
What are you planning on doing, Jace?
I said we're just going to maybe drop south just a little longer and watch these. And something else that you or Ryan mentioned is how quickly that severe thunderstorm warning to the east of the Memphis metro went up. That's what's going to happen today. These storms are going to go up quick. And with all the storm fuel, all the instability we have, they are going to intensify very quick as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at those storms also. All right, Jace, I appreciate that. If we go back to radar, so we're watching the tornado warning here to the northwest. It is just on the edge of our viewing area. So it's up here around Bakersfield. If you look at the wind, with the storm right now, it's just riding the northern parts of that. Now let me see here. That scan is not the latest scan. I don't think.
It's lining up with what I'm seeing too.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is going to be continuing on pretty soon to go into Missouri. But, you know, I think Springfield radar might be
There it goes. It just updated.
Yeah, I think Springfield radar is having possibly having some issues right now.
Because right now it's right on the state line, it seems.
Yeah. So here it is right here. It's about to cross over into the state line. This warning here has picked that up. Just to kind of give you an idea, Region 8 is kind of right through here. So we'll watch that. We know there's some interest up there. We know we have some viewers kind of right through here who may have some interest just outside of our viewing area. But this is riding right along our viewing area right now. And the cool thing about Gray Media, we own the TV station out of Springfield, so KY3 is also covering this storm right now as well. And if you widen out, you can see that we're going to start seeing more storms down to the south. And as Jace was just saying, we're going to have to watch these, because if you look at these storms down here, already got a severe thunderstorm warning for the eastern parts of Memphis. But if you notice, these storms are heading due north and they're strengthening. So if you just draw a line here, if these continue, they're going to be clipping the eastern parts of Poinsett County, parts of Mississippi County as well. And this could be kind of the storms before the storms, and these could be pretty nasty also. Got one just to the south of Joyner, and this is going to go through parts of Mississippi County. So we can't let that sneak up on us either. And they're strengthening pretty fast, so I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing some more warnings coming out of there. So we got more down to the south right there. They're not growing quite as fast, so more severe thunderstorm warnings south of Memphis.
I'm still watching some of these storms up in the Ozarks, and for Howe County and the very, very northwestern parts of Oregon County, instead of extending the tornado warning, they've gone with a severe thunderstorm warning and put a tornado tag possible on it. So they're still noticing that very broad rotation like what we were talking about earlier. So the storm as a whole is still rotating, but likely not enough for it to produce a tornado, but still some very gusty winds and potentially some $half size hail with that storm.
Okay. And I tell you what, we're starting to get some big time hail. Let me go this real fast. Let's go back to that storm. Did the new watch just come out also? I've
been waiting to see. It looks, yes, 7 minutes ago.
Okay. So there's the hail core with this thing. It's still kind of a little bit of a hook through there, a little bit. It's kind of messy, but that's definitely broadening out just a bit. Let's go back to radar. There's the hail with this. This is outside of Region 8, but you can get a look at it right there. Had some reports. Yeah, that's interesting to see. See, some of this is lofted up in the air, but if you rotate this around the other way, you can see. There it is, right there. You just got to kind of look closely. There it is, right there. So this thing's probably producing some pretty large hail also. Just got a report from a friend up in Mountain Home of the rotation went it was aloft, didn't touch down, but was definitely seen.
Okay, that's multiple people saying it.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to look, see if I've got anything new here.
Yeah, I've been trying to skim some socials and looking at what the National Weather Service is saying, and I'm not getting very many reports on those storms right now.
Yeah, this is going to be right on, and they dropped the tornado warning now for Baxter County completely, it looks like. Did they just drop it completely?
I'm not seeing that. I still see a tornado warning for Baxter County and Fulton County. It might be delayed though.
Okay.
Let's see. So, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm seeing they said they were going to expire it, so we'll probably just have to wait for it to catch up.
All right. Tell you what, we're not too far from maybe taking a little bit of a break because that warning is gone now. And this is right on the outside of Region 8. So we may take a break here. This is just going to be skirting right on the edge of Region 8. If it starts moving more eastward at all, we will break back into regular programming. But this is going to continue up and maybe come close to West Plains. It's right on the outside of our viewing area. If it starts coming any more through here, then of course we will break back into regular programming. Kind of give you another idea of those storms that are coming to the south also. So we're having to watch these also. If those start spinning, we will break back into regular programming. But for now, we're going to rejoin regular programming. Fulton County, Baxter County, you guys are in the clear. This tornado warning in Howell County. It's kind of going through the western parts of the area. It's just outside of Region 8. So our sister station KY3 in Springfield will be covering that one. I have a feeling we're going to be back on here pretty soon, so we will probably see you in just a little bit, but kind of hang in your houses or hang in whatever shelters you're going to be hanging out with as we go into the afternoon and into the evening.